I like it especially for the communication aspect because it's really good communication avenue for children to their families. It's in time, so if they've done something in studio and put it on Seesaw, their parent sees it straight away, pops up on their phone or iPad or computer, whatever they're using. So that's really handy for that aspect, especially for parents who can't always get into studio. And the second reason why I like it is because it's good for assessment. I get the kids into a routine of uploading a lot of learning, especially maths and writing and reading, and then I can go back and look at what they've done, not only for report writing but just after a day. So if I didn't get to get to a child for a conference or didn't get to see what they did in maths, I can go back at the end of the day and actually look at what they've done, which is really handy too if I don't get time to get around to all of them. And thirdly, I really like it because it gives the kids some ownership over their own learning. We have a big talk at the beginning of the year about what is appropriate to upload and what's not so appropriate. So you don't upload every single thing you do. I guess it's a form of self-assessment because they pick something they've done and they think, oh, you know, I'd like people to see this. I'm going to upload that. So yeah, it gives a bit of responsibility and ownership over their learning, makes them feel proud. And actually one more reason why I like it is it develops their communication skills through digital technology. So, you know, how to take a proper photo of something, not taking a random side thing of their learning, you know, making sure their learning's in the photo.
My baby cousin just drinks milk at bedtime. My baby cousin is the bestest baby cousin ever. And when you're finished, you just press the tick.
Explaining what they've done. So a lot of them do voice recordings or write down what they've done or explain their thinking. That's really important too. Also about, you know, they are able to comment and like on each other. So what's an appropriate thing to write on someone else's learning? That's really important too. So yeah, that's the main reasons why I like it. There's lots of learning involved, and it not only develops the children's, I guess it develops their communication skills, but also their critical thinking because they're actually thinking about their audience and who's looking at their learning. So yeah, when they log into Facebook or Instagram, whatever, as an older child, yeah, they've had some background knowledge on appropriate use of social media. I guess this is a really, really little example of social media, although it's very private. Yeah, they've had some experience with how to talk to people, what to write on someone's learning, what to upload, what's appropriate to upload. So yeah, just things like that. So the first thing you do is just type in Seesaw into the browser, and it's the first one here. Click on that. And if you don't have an account, go to sign in, and you can create an account. So you click I'm a teacher, and if you don't have one, you can click create account. I've already got one, so I'm going to sign in. The create account bit will just be you putting in your email, and then you'll have to confirm it through your email. So that's quite simple. So I'm just going to type in my, there we go. Okay, so this will be what will come up. Now I've already had 2 classes, so if you're starting a new year, I'd go create a new class, but I'm just going, actually I might do that. So I'm going to click create a new class, and I'm going to name it room 18 just as an example, and then I click my year level. So I'm going to click K, which is reception, and click the tick. And then this is just how you set up your student sign-in mode. So when your students sign in, you'll want them to sign in with a QR code. So I'm going to click tick for that. And then this is how I add my student's name. So I'm just going to add a name. And click And I just go down like that and it keeps going. So yeah, and once you've put them all in, you just click tick and then that will be your class. So this is the home page. If you want some tutorials on what you can actually do with it, you can click watch. That might just be some ideas of what you can do. But the first thing I'll do, so I've set up my class, and the first thing I'll do is go to the toolbox, and here I can manage everything I want. So I might just go down the list with everything that you can do. So I've got my class name, got my year level, that can always be changed. First thing I might do is I might add some teachers. So I might have a knit teacher that I want to add. So I'm going to type in that teacher's name there and then click invite teacher, and that will send them an email and they'll be able to connect to that. So yeah, if you want to connect the art teacher or PE teacher or whatever, you can do that. So that would be the first thing I do. Then I keep going down. I can change the theme. So I can make it whatever colour I want. So that will up to you. And then I can change my class icons. So that's, you can do whatever you want. Or you can just leave it. And then here's the student sign-in mode. So for ARTA 2, junior primary, I would definitely do shared devices. When they're a bit old, maybe year 6, 7, you could do one-to-one. So all they have to do here is you print off the QR code and they'll scan it with their iPad that are located in your room, and then that will stay logged in. So you'll never have to sign in again unless the students sign out, which I tell them not to, so they won't sign out.
You can also look at other people's journals.
Manage students, so that's where if you need to add more students or delete students. So if I want to remove a student, I can remove them. And that would be like that. Go back. Here's students' likes and comments. So I'm allowed all that on at the moment. So that means that the students are able to like each other's like learning that will pop up. This means that they're able to add comments, but if they add a comment, this means that it requires approval. So if they add a comment, I have to approve it on my personal device first. Students can see each other's work, that's on, so that means they can scroll through the feed and see what each other have uploaded. So new items require approval, so anything they upload means I have to approve it on my personal device. So here actually enable family access is off, so you've got to put that on, and that's where you start inviting families. So what you do is you click invite families, and what I do is I print paper invites. So you click that and that will come up. So each student that you've put in, because you've already put the students in, will have their own QR code, and this is what the parents use to sign in. So it's got the instructions there for them. What I do is I give them that on Family Connections Day and get them to do it right there. Yep. So on Family Connections Day, I ask them to bring a device. Most of them would have one. If they don't, you can probably get them to send it home with them, but it's better if they bring it with them. So if they've got a phone, they've got to download the Seesaw family app, create family account, they scan this code, and then it will connect to their child. So there is the Seesaw family app. I click on that, create family account, and tap to scan QR code, enable camera. And I just scan that code that's on my child's paper, and then click create account. And then they've just got to put in their name, so I might just put in Kelly, then your email, and then create a password. And then click tick, and then I'm logged in as a parent. So that's what it looks like for the parent. And then all they'll see is what John Smith, their child, has uploaded. So that's how I enable the parents. And then you can go down to manage families. You can see who's connected to who. And yeah, that's just handy to see what parents are connected. and then pending parent, that's who you've invited, but they haven't accepted yet.
Yep.
But that's why I think it's better to do it on Family Connections, because they can do it right there.
Yep.
And this is where you can manage all their sharing. So if you can enable likes, enable comments. I always enable comments and likes because they like to comment on their child's learning.
Yep.
And then here I've put it requires approval. So if a parent uploads a comment as well, I've got to approve it. I look at it first. Enable class blog. I haven't really explored that. That's quite new. But you can have a go at that. I'm not really sure what that involves. And then another thing I do is folders. I like to get the kids to upload learning but then put it in a folder so that when I want to look through their learning, it's organised by maths, literacy. I just create different folders. So maths, it's good to colour coordinate it because then the kids notice the difference. Yeah, I just add a whole range. And yeah, you can just keep going. So that's quite handy as well, because what I do is when I go back for report writing, I like to look at each child, and then because it's categorised, I can look at what they've done in maths, what they've done in literacy, and that helps me with my assessment too. And I put it on students and teachers, so that means that the kids can categorise things into folders, so when they upload something, they can click literacy. If it's just on teachers, that means only I can do it, and then it doesn't really get done. So I teach the kids that they can do it. So if they've uploaded something in writing, they click literacy, and then that goes into that folder. You can save to camera roll. I do that on my phone, so if I take photos on Seesaw, it automatically saves to my phone, and then I can get them printed or whatever I need to, but that's entirely up to you. You just got to remember to delete them. So what you can do is you can actually download a PDF of their Seesaw. I didn't do it with any of my parents because all my parents were happy to connect, but at the end of the term, you can actually go to their e-portfolio and you can download it as a PDF and you can print it out for them. So if they want to see what they've done, yeah, you can download that for them. Anything else that you write on Seesaw, you can download and you can send to them. Well, what I'd say is that the parents can't see it in time, so they can't, if they write something that day, it's hard to get it to them that day. If you send it home in a paper copy, it might not get to the parent. Who knows, it could get lost in their bag, or the child just forgets to give it to them. Another thing is that lots of people are using smart devices these days. It's very, very common. So it's probably a more modernised way of communication and a bit more convenient. So the only disadvantage I would say is getting parents connected is probably the most challenging aspect. That's why I'd say do it on Family Connections Day. You might have some parents that might not connect just because there's going to be a few that don't. I reckon I had maybe 4 or 5 that didn't connect. But the children still loved uploading because they knew that other children in the class would see it and I would see it. So it was still handy for even those parents that weren't connected. Another disadvantage might be the kids forget. So you really got to do lots of learning about it at the beginning of the year, show them how to do it, have lots of practice. A lot of the time I'd have, as part of reflection, is to upload on Seesaw. So that was actually a requirement for that lesson. And then we could look at them all together at the end. We never have one-to-one devices with Seesaw. They'd always be sharing. But even if you've got 5 or 6, even 4, you easily shared around. You just make sure they all have a turn. It only takes them a couple minutes. They snap. They're already logged in. Snap, click their name. It's up. They can write something if they want. It only take no longer than a few minutes. Really, sometimes in the afternoon, our Wi-Fi is a bit slow, so if they're uploading videos, it might take a while. But what I've done is, if we've uploaded a video at the end of the day, I've just left it there, and I've let it upload. Yeah, and I've just left it open, and then I've put the iPad away after. So that's how I've handled that. So on your personal device, you'll have Seesaw. That's the teacher app. Because what there is there's a teacher login and a student login. A teacher login, you obviously have a lot more access. Just got to log in. Then the students have, so I'll show you both. So this is what yours looks like. This is my new class that I've created, but I'm going to show you one of my old classes because I can show you what they've uploaded. So this is my class from 2017, and as you can see, I can just scroll through and see what they've uploaded. So there's pictures, and that's everyone, so I can look at everyone. As you can see there's a folder, so they've uploaded something and they've put it in literacy. So that was a video they made for literacy. So what I do is if I want to upload something, I click the tick and I click post to student journal. And then I might take a photo of something. And then I can add text to it, add a caption or a label. I can add a drawing if I want. And I can add a voice recording if I want. So this is just say that's what I've uploaded, tick. Yep. Then I click who it was, so just say it was Fatima. I tick. And then I click what folder it goes into, so just say that was her literacy, and then tick. And that's uploaded. Now, because I uploaded it, it doesn't need to be approved because it's done on my teacher account. Another thing I could do is I can go up here and I can click at what student I want. So this is mainly how I use it for assessment. So I might click on Amy's, and then I can have a look at what she's done, but then I might want to look at what Amy's done in maths. So I've clicked Amy and then I've clicked maths. So all this will only show what Amy's done in maths. And here you can see what who's liked it, and I've added some comments too. And see here it's 2 children, so Amy and Mariam have uploaded it. So I can click more than one child if I want, if there's 2 or 3 children working on it. So the thing with Amy's things that she's uploaded is only Amy's connected family see that. So the whole yellow 4, every single person connected will not see that. The only difference is because I've tagged Amy and Jana in this one, Amy's family will see it, but Jana's family will also see it because they're both tagged in that. That's the only time another family will see another child's learning, is because I've tagged 2 children in that.
You've tagged it, or the child has tagged it?
I have tagged it. If a child tags other children, every time a child uploads, I have to approve it. So if they've tagged people that aren't in it, I'll delete those children and it won't go to those families.
But you allow them to tag people that are in the photo?
That's right. And I've never had that issue. That honestly, all the children that I've used this have never been silly with it because we've done a lot of education with it at the beginning of the year before we begin uploading. So I've never had issues where they've uploaded silly things or they've tagged people who aren't in it. That can happen a little bit at the beginning if they're still learning how to use it, but you just teach them how to do it properly. And yeah, so that's what it looks like for me. They upload a whole range of things, photos. A lot of things we do is the drawing tool. So they'll draw something and I'll talk about it. So that's really good to explain their thinking. So you might say to them, how do you add these numbers? And Amy's explaining here how she's done double, so she's actually talking about that. And it's really good for children who aren't able to write that, but they can talk about it. So that's a really good way for them to communicate their thinking without having to write it down. So that's what it looks like on my part. Another thing I can also upload is an announcement. So this is kind of like a notice this will go to all the families. So I mainly use it for like little reminders. So just say we've got an excursion tomorrow. So this is going to all families. Make sure you bring your bathers to the swimming pool tomorrow. Just little things like that. Instead of sending a note, that's what I'd use it for. So that I can do that. So inbox down here will let you know when you have when they've uploaded things.
Oh, okay.
Notifications. So see how it's coming up with who's liked what.
Yep.
You don't have to approve likes, but if they write a comment, you have to approve it. And this is good too. check out which parents were active. So even if they haven't commented or liked, it will show who's seen things, which is quite handy too. So if they're actually looking at it. Because some parents, if they aren't confident with writing in English, they might just look at it and that's enough. They don't have to write anything on it. See how it says Talia wants to add an item? That means I have to approve that.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'll show you what it looks like from the child login. So I'll sign out of this. All right, so I'm going to show you how a child can sign in. So what you do is you click student code and you can do a text code, which they type in, or you can do a QR code. So I'm going to show you the QR code. So what they do is they, same app, Seesaw, they log in, they click on the iPad, they click, I click I'm a teacher, but they're going to click I'm a student. And then all you do is scan it as already signed in. So they add as, they only see what they can. So if they, this is how it's different. So I'm going to take a photo. This is one of the children. And they can add, they can turn the photo, they can add a voice recording, drawing, or text. And then they click that. And they click their name. And then they click their folder, and it goes up. So then what will happen is on my personal device, I go to there, see how there's a little 2 up there, and down here it says 1 unapproved post. That's what Lisa's uploaded, so I have to approve that.
Yep.
And I can go down, I can click here, and I can edit the item. I can edit the people, so just say it's not Lisa's, it's actually John. So I'm going to click John and make that John's. Because Lisa might have accidentally done, or John might have accidentally clicked Lisa. So I can change the people. I can edit the folder. They might have put it in the wrong folder, so I might change the folder. I can edit the date. I can download the item, so it means I can download it onto my computer. I can get the item QR code. So if I want to send that home as a QR code, they can print it, and then their families can scan it and it will come up on their device. Or what you could do is you could print the QR codes around. So if you've got parents coming in to look at things, yeah, they can scan the QR code and their learning will come up. So if there's a video, it will actually come up as a video.
Right.
Yeah. So that's the student use. But the difference with John is, because John's uploaded that, only John's family will see that. No one else will see that besides John's family. And yeah, they can, that's all they can do is upload. They can look at other people, so they can look at their names, but they can't do anything else.
So do you mostly work on your iPhone to do all this?
Yeah, I do it on my iPhone because it's just on me,
So
it's easy.
At the moment you're logged into the
computer,
to
yeah.
You wouldn't do that very often?
No. The only way I use the computer is when we're doing reflection.
Right.
So what I'll do is I'll log in and I'm going to show you from Yellow 4 because there's lots more uploaded. I can actually show the whole studio what we've done. So Sana might want to explain what she's done in time and show her learning.
Okay. Yep.
So I'll connect the laptop to the smart board and then it will show up on the big board and then I can play it and it will show what they've done.
Okay, that's a good idea.
Or it might just be photos and I can say to Amy, oh Amy, what were you doing here? And she might explain in reflection what she was doing. So it's really handy for reflection as well.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I just take photos of what we've done. So that went to their families when we went on our excursion.
Right.
But that's only gone to Mataza and Navid's family because that's who's tagged in it.
How do you do that? You just tag them?
So when I upload something,
Yep.
so if I've uploaded that, so if just say Ayan, Aliyah and Amy did that, I'm going to click their names and that will only go to their families. It won't go to anyone else.
Edit people.
Or when I upload something, like just take a photo, I'll just click the names. So when you go to the next page, the names come up and you just click.
And it'll just go to them. You don't have to send it to them.
No.
They can just access
It's just upload. Once it's uploaded, if I've uploaded it, I don't have to approve it. If Aliyah uploaded that, then she has to approve it. I have to approve it, sorry. Yeah. So the good teaching point I did with Sana here was actually teach her when you draw a clock, the easiest way to do it is starting with the 12, the 3, the 6 and the 9 so that they're aligned. But that was really good learning because I could see what she was doing wrong and what she can improve on. So that was a really good teaching point there. And that's why the drawing tool is really handy, because you can see that how they're actually thinking. Even if they're not talking, you can just see how they've done it, which is really handy. So it's good to see how many items they've each got, because you can see one that's not uploaded as much, you can encourage them to upload more. That's quite handy. But I like them to upload quality over quantity. I'd rather them have, that's why I teach them about what is appropriate to upload. You don't upload something every day, you're writing every day. Trying to upload more things that you're proud of, so it's not overloading it as well. So this is what Sana did. She wanted to read her story in her first language to her mum, because her mum doesn't speak English, so she was really proud of this. Yeah, so that was her first attempt at doing that. And you can see that her mum's liked it and she's seen it as well. So she obviously viewed it.